So today we're sitting in this is the 2022 Tesla Model 3. Not that that really matters per se, but we're taking a peek at a product that I installed a couple weeks ago that at first I was interested in, but I wasn't really totally sold on in all reality about it. And that is the screen tilting feature for the front display. So let's talk about this. Hey folks, welcome back to techgooch, and today we're taking a peek and talking about the screen tilting feature on a Model Y, or in this case Model 3, for the front main display. If you're familiar with the Model 3 or the Model Y, when the screen actually arrives, or when the vehicle arrives, it is a flat screen straight on with the vehicle at basically perpendicular to your orientation of travel, right? So you can't modify that at all. It is where it is. It's set stationary. There's no changing it. Now, to be honest about it, at first I was like, and I saw these screen tilting mechanisms prior to actually receiving the vehicle, and at first I was kind of intrigued. Maybe that should be something I should definitely look into, because it makes sense to want to bring the screen aiming towards me, specifically if I get a lot of glare or something. That said, I know that there's a lot of entertainment options, things like that. You can, and obviously even choosing music on the screen. The passenger might want to do that while you're driving, and if it's aimed towards you, maybe that makes it a little more difficult for the passenger. Now, in all reality, all those things are true, and it hasn't changed that. But after having added this, I'm actually quite pleased with it. It's something that I'm definitely going to keep. I really like it. Now, I will say it does come with a few minor changes. The screen itself lowers because of it. It's because of where it mounts. It can't mount straight onto it, because then you're just adding a whole bunch more mechanisms and you're bringing it this much way further. So what they do is they actually mount it. They bring the mount out and then they mount it underneath. So it actually drops the display about 1.25 inches total, which isn't, it sounds a lot more than what it is. I will say there's two things that I dislike about it lowering the screen. One is that it partially obscures your charging pads down here, your wireless charging pads. And it's not so much that I'm using my phone. I really don't care if I see the screen while I'm charging or while I'm driving, but making sure that the phone is actually charging while it's down there, that's where the detriment is, because you're kind of doing this to make sure, on an iPhone at least, you can see the little battery meter. Now, technically, you could probably put it on upside down, and maybe that would work. However, that's one thing that I will say. It does bring it down 1.25 inches. It also, and this actually I think is actually for a benefit, it moves the display 3/4 inch away from the steering column. So toward the passenger side, 3/4 inch, which basically gives you a better view, even when tilted towards you, of the whole, your speed and all the vehicle information status on the left side of the display. Now, the big thing is obviously I can then rotate the screen, right? In all directions. I can manipulate the screen however I see fit, which we kind of keep it slightly up and slightly toward the driver. But if the passenger wanted to, they could just grab it real quick. I'm not going to lose vision of the display. I'm not going to lose, seeing how fast I'm going, things like that. In all reality, it is substantially better than I had originally anticipated it being. But of course, I didn't really think through the drop of the screen. My least favorite thing about this is the 1.25 inch drop. I wish it was not quite as much, because 1.25 inches is something that you definitely notice. I don't really notice it being to the side a little bit more, but I definitely know that it's lower. And more than anything else, you can see behind here, I actually have a tissue box. I can now see that tissue box a lot easier than I had before, which was basically completely hidden. It does bring the screen toward the driver a little bit more too, and that's just because of the added hinge back here, which gives you more room behind the screen. So, now my duck isn't quite as squeezed back here. All in all, – both myself and my wife, who are the two that pretty much drive the vehicle, we both actually really like the tilting, because having the screen tilted towards you actually is quite nice. It feels like it should. Even since the day I got the Tesla, it felt weird having the screen straight on with the dash. It just felt different. And that's because even, I mean, a lot of vehicles do kind of bring the vehicle information a little bit towards you. Some keep it straight, but I'm just saying that with such a large display that this is, and everything being on the display like they do in a Tesla, having that slight kink towards you is actually really nice. And of course, I can straighten it out if I want to. The downside is I can't raise it back where it was. So if there is one thing that I would actually like to see them do, is if they could figure out a way to bring the screen back up similar to where it was stock. Even if it brought it out a little bit more, I'm okay with that. But getting a little bit higher, I think would be the one thing that would make this better. No product is perfect. I actually prefer it with the tilting screen than I did with the non-tilting screen. So it ain't going back, that's for sure. It's staying how it is. But that said, it is one of those upgrades that I've done to my vehicle that was not tremendously difficult. It really wasn't. It took a little bit of time, and it's worth it. And that's the big thing. It's not a $500 upgrade. You're talking about like a $160 upgrade. And 160 bucks, if you're in a vehicle like this, I'm not going to say is a necessity, but it is. If you're thinking about doing it and you're really contemplating it, I would recommend do it, because I think more often than not you're going to really enjoy it more than what you did. If you're really tall, maybe that would make a little more of a difference that it's lower, but you can tilt it up towards you or tilt it down. The nice thing about this is even when you're sitting charging and you're watching a video or something, you can then get that glare off the display by orienting it. So this specific upgrade I think is fantastic, and actually now that I have it, I'm really glad I have it. So I will put links in the description. This one is actually from HANSSHOW. I've done a lot of videos of accessories from HANSSHOW on my vehicle, and to be honest, every single one I've done, I'm actually been very pleased with the quality of the product as well as how well it installed. Now, the instructions that they even give you, even for this one, they do actually go step by step. I do have a video that I actually did when I actually integrated this into my vehicle. So if you want to check my install video, I'll put that down in the description as well. But in all reality, their step-by-step instructions, that Chinese to American translation is decent, but you can tell it's not quite as clean as it could be. In all reality though, not too difficult. And there are actually other install videos than mine of this. So definitely check it out if you're interested in that. And let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you can for me. And thank you, HANSSHOW, for making quality products. I'm a big supporter. That's why I keep kind of coming back to them, because every single thing that I put in my vehicle has worked nonstop. My front kit is fantastic. My rear eagle eye taillights, I really like this specific tilt screen. And actually now I have their Tesla floor mats as well, and quality products. So thank you, HANSSHOW, and thank you people for watching this video. Like I said, if you have any questions or comments, post below. Otherwise, techgooch.com, you can get a hold of me direct. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you back here on another future video review right here on TechGooch.